Hello and welcome to The Becoming Trader. I'm Christian Kamp, I'm the host and I am The Becoming Trader. So last week I went live and this is going to be my first review. It's a bit late, I know it's Wednesday. But yeah, I've just been busy, wife's birthday, you know the drill. So what happened? Well, yeah, it's been very tingling. Just the nerves have been shooting. Um, and yeah, let's dive in and see what's happened. So this is my graph. Let's just move that down there. This is my graph. So had a few trades that dropped down, and then slowly been getting it back up there. Had one drop there. So this has just been my days. Um, so what I did was in the beginning, the first few days, I was trading at 1% of my trading value, and I then realized that it's just too much. Akil, the trading from the Trading Coach podcast, he said something. He said that you must trade an amount that's not not too big or not too big that you get excited about wins and you worry about losses. So it must be small enough that you don't get excited and you don't worry. So after the first few days, I realized that trading with 1% is just a bit too much for my liking. So I dropped it by half, and then I started making a few wins. So that few wins there, the reason why I didn't go all the way up was because of that, which I'm happy with. I don't mind. I'd rather be comfortable with what I win and lose than to get too excited or get too worried about my wins and losses. So I'll just get up let's get up since then. So yeah, I'll just go through some of the trades. So I'm just going down the order here. Let's start with A to Z. Okay, so this is the current one. I'm pretty pleased with this one actually, because it was last night that I was going through it, and I had my little indicator here, and I looked at it, and the fractals, I liked how they were going up. I liked how it was going up there. And so I went into it, and then this bar here, there was a New Zealand major news last night or this morning, and that's basically what happened here. There was unexpected news about the NZD, and well, not unexpected. I think they predicted it, but it was just a little bit worse than what they predicted, and so it shot up. And the beauty about trading is that it'll get to what's this high here? High of 4459. So it's only 30 pips or something off my off my take profit. And then I mean that would have been a very good take profit, and then it dropped down. So by the time I woke up, I think I woke up at this one here, this bar here. It's sort of already went down. But yeah, that's fine. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, so I was pretty chuffed about this one because of that. I did predict that it was going up, and yeah, it shot up. I wasn't predicting the news to be so big, but it went in my favor. This was on an H2. So that's I'm pleased about that one. I was just playing around with a bit of a 15-minute chart in this one. I was just trying to see how accurate I would be on a 15-minute chart. See, I got down out there at a reasonable time. Just testing my strategy on a shorter time frame, just to see how it would work with me, because it might be something that I might be interested in doing. It's just going to smaller time frames just for a few hours, just to test my strategy quicker and see how it goes. Yeah. Then with the so I was when was it? I was very. I think trying to think when I've taken these trades. So that was the 30th there. This one here, it dropped down, and again I wanted to just test a strategy of reversing it. So it dropped down there. I put in a buy order because I knew it would turn around, and then it exploded up. It went through the roof. I think that was also that was last week. Yeah, it went all the way up, and yeah, then I stopped myself out there and right at the top, and it went back down. But yeah, one thing just to learn from my mistakes and what I did wrong, is that nothing actually closed over. There was no closing over. See, it stopped short there, but the high went up there, so there is resistance. I mean, it did eventually go up all the way up that way, but there was actually resistance for it. And yeah, so it wasn't a great trade to get into, and yeah, it stopped me out. I mean, it went so low. I don't know how low you can go. Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one. So then I went back up and I made some of the money back, just to see how I can manage that. Then this was. I should have gone by date rather than a symbol. But anyway, this was on the H1. So when I started, this is this date here. When I started the last week, I thought I was only on the H4, and I thought it's a bit too. What's the word? It's a bit too. That's this one here. I was just a bit too eager, I suppose, and so I thought let me go to the H1 the hourly chart just to see, have more trades, just be in the market more. But it was just a bit too stressful for me. I sort of had to be at the computer every hour to monitor trades and stuff, and I was stumbling over myself. So I decided to test H2 rather than H1. So I had a couple of trades in H1 and they both stopped out, and it was just a bit too much for me. I was just stumbling over myself, and there was too much to do, and so with this trade here, there was my indicator there. Again, the problem was that the low was below it, but it didn't actually close over that. That was one of the problems. I mean, if I had my stop loss up here somewhere, but then again, how high do you go? This is the problem. How high do you go with your stop loss? But if I had my stop loss a little bit further than there, maybe it was a bit too close. I'm happy that I stuck with my rules. It wasn't a bad trade in the sense. It did, there was clear signs that it was going down, and it did go down. Good. So if it didn't stop me out there, well, if it didn't stop me out those two places, it would have been a good trade. But now it stopped me out. So it's not a, well, it is it a good trade? I don't know. I followed my rules and that makes it a good trade. That's all that we need to know. Well, let me repeat that. I sort of followed my rules. I should have noticed that it didn't close over that, but there were two signs that it went over, and so I should have known that there was too much volatility in the trade to make it viable, I suppose. It's too risky. It might have been too risky. And then while I'm here, I went in. This must have been H something else. H4. Okay. So I went in there, and then last night it crashed me out. Was this a good trade? Again, there's a signal, but the thing that I don't like about it is that it's too far down. Like, it's already crossed over quite a bit there, and yeah, there was plenty of potential in it going down, but it wasn't. I sort of missed the cutoff to make it unrisky, I suppose. And then I was looking at this last night. And yeah, these arrows, these fractals here, sort of gave me the potential that it might still be going down. It's gonna stop there. But yeah, once it stopped over there, I should have known. Yeah. It would have been better to know that it's actually stopped over that. So, and it didn't stop over that point there. So it didn't close over there. It closed over there. As soon as it was at break even, that's the point to come out and say, I'm not going to risk it anymore. And yeah, then it went with the New Zealand news last night or this morning. Okay, and then this was NZD CAD H2. Also quite a good setup. H2, hey. Let's get to the right one. Good setup. It crossed over that, which I liked. So I was confident that it would break over again, and yeah, then it did, and it went to my 2 and my 3 times. So yeah, so the setup, it's nice up there, so I'm happy with it. I got in and I stopped out there, great. The reversal, yeah, it stopped over that one, so I was pretty confident, but then it didn't stop over that one, and that's the point that, even there, it didn't stop over it. So at those 2 points there, that's where I missed. Okay, I don't see it going back. Either move my stop loss further up, or just take out and close it and take the win. That's, yeah, especially because that fractal is lower than that one. Yeah, it was a very good sign. There was actually a potential here. There's a little indicator there. And what was strong about it, one reason that would have been viable to take was because it closed over this line here. It closed over that's what the what's it called? Resistance? No, resistance top. The bottom one. Support and resistance. It closed over that support, and at that point, it's saying, okay, there's a good chance that it's going to go back, it's going to go down. And it did, obviously, because of the news. So it's just something to keep in mind. There was definitely a a nice little bend there, and yeah, that as well. It was starting to angle down. So yeah, that's a lesson learned. That was yesterday morning. So yeah, it would have been definitely that point there was a signal that it's not going to go any further. This is it. That's the end of that run, and it might be worthwhile checking out the downside. So yeah, that's something I need to watch out for. I'll keep that in mind. When was this? H1. And it's this one here. Yeah, this was also one of the first trades I took. Again, it wasn't a bad setup. There was a closed over there, but then it just reversed. So, and then it did actually end up going very high, but it reversed and stopped me out. So it wasn't a bad setup though. I'm not too disappointed with it. I am happy. I think I said last week that, you know, whatever happens. I'm happy as long as I keep to my strategy. And yeah, I'm very confident. It closed over that point there. Maybe the only point I can make out is maybe that it didn't close over that line there. It closed over there, and by the time it did close over there, it was sort of too late. The market has already moved in the direction, and it's gonna recoil, and that's the only reason I can look now. Yeah, and what happened to my? So yeah, so that is something to consider. Let's continue, shall we? NZD JPY. This was H2. Okay, this one was the winner. Actually, my five times. That's my first 5 times. So, woohoo! Right. Okay, so what do I like about it? Well, it is a nice little reversal angle there, and reverse there. Now, it closed over that one, which I'm happy about. So I knew it was going to close over there again, and because the fractal's going up, that angle that's going up, to me it was a nice little setup. And yeah, there was news over the weekend. This was over the weekend. Japan news, and Japan crashed, and so it was a good setup overall, and it obviously boomed because the Japanese yen crashed. And yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the setup. It had lots of potential, and yeah, it actually ran with it. Things I could make better, maybe. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'll have to think about it, because that's the new line from those two, and it stopped over that close there, which I'm happy about. Yeah, I mean, it was very close to my stop loss here. My stop loss would have been somewhere around here. It was very close to that, but it turned around at the right time and it boomed up. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. Let's not open trades. Okay, here, what is this, H4? Alrighty, yeah, this one, the same thing here. So I'm going to go back to the NZ JPY, the H2. Yeah, so the difference between how I can get, where's that? This one here. that one. I want to keep that one. I want to minimize that one. I want the NZD CAD. Where's NZD CAD here? I just want to get something up here. No. Sorry, this is the first time I've actually used multiple trading screen thing, and so I'm just trying to figure out. And the NZD JPY, the NZD, no, NZD JPY. I want NZD JPY on this one. What's that? 2 hour. And NZD, okay, I'll take you. NZD USD. And that one is also H2. So let's have a look. Was it that one? NZD USD. NZD USD. Okay, so first NZD USD on the H2. The reason that I didn't, so that was great. It went in there. Maybe I got a bit too high. I started a bit too high. You know, it would have been better to start it down here where that one crossed there, where it actually crossed there. The fractals look good. It looked like it was going to go up, but it actually stopped me out. So it probably would have been better to have my stop loss a little bit lower. Like I say, maybe I could have retracted it and gone from that point, or even put my stop loss at the low of that one. And it did go in my position, and then it eventually did come down, but I would have made some profit out of it rather than losing everything. The H4 on this side. So I just wanted to point out for myself the difference between let's turn that off. The difference between this setup and this setup. So why I like this one, why I don't really mind this one, I mean, there was a good directional change there, is, so I don't mind the setup too much. Like, I was happy that it crossed over there, and I had a feeling it would do it again. The only problem was it didn't cross over, and it didn't cross over. By that point there, it's better to go, okay, this is not happening. It's not actually going to go. So get out as soon as one of those points there. The close was 411, buy is 424. So yeah, it didn't cross over there. It didn't cross over again. It told me twice that it's not doing this. The third time it happened, that's on me. So yeah, and then it crashed, obviously, with the NZD. So yeah, the difference that I can see is that there was, so closed over there, and then it went back down, and then it did it once, but then it closed over, and that's good, and then it shot up. Whereas here, it crossed over there, great, didn't cross over, and boom, down. So yeah, something to just keep in mind. It's twice fine, 3 times, well, once fine, twice, it's not happening. Third time, get out of there, take it to the cleaners, and let's move on. Let's not waste our time with that anymore, because it's not going to happen. So yeah, I just wanted to make that noticeable, what I need to do. So yeah, where are we? So USD CAD. This was another H1. How many H1s did I have? I thought I had 2. Okay. let's have a look. This one, yeah, the only thing yeah, it wasn't a bad setup. Yeah, I followed my rules, closed over there. The only thing I could think of is that it would have been better to have the stop loss a little bit higher up, instead of at that point there, a little bit higher up there, and that would give me a bit of room. And then going down, close over that, great. That's positive. Went there. It didn't close over that one. It didn't close over that one, and it didn't close over that one. It didn't close over that one. And that's the point that where you decide to, okay, I'm going to take my losses, especially when it closes over that side there. That's when yeah, that's another couple of things. The stop loss, man, the stop loss is difficult, you really, it's, where do you put the stop loss? Because if you come out, if you put it higher, you potentially losing more because you have to have bigger profits, and yeah, so it's a tough one. So yeah, obviously it's been a shaky pushing way through. I'm trying to optimize my arrow signals better. And maybe I'm getting distracted again. I think that's something that I do a lot, is if it's not working perfectly, I try and make it work perfectly, but I actually need to focus on price action, focus on just sitting here and doing the job, and not getting so bogged down about the money. I think it was Akil also who said that if your motivation is money, you will eventually not be a good trader, because even if you're making a lot of money, you just start, once you start making the money, it doesn't become enjoyable anymore, because now you've made the money. That was your goal, to make money, and now you're making the money. So now what's the point of enjoying it? So I need to get back into the trading, the analytical side. What's happening? Why is it doing that? What's going to happen next? I think that's something that I need to focus on now. And yeah, I need to do more back testing. I do need to do more back testing to keep my eye in. It's all about momentum. And so yeah, that'll be my goal over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, if you have any suggestions or questions or input, I would love to hear it. So yeah, just drop it in the comments section. I hope that you find my reviews a little bit helpful and just honest. I've lost money. That's how you start trading, right? You lose money, and yeah, I hope that it is insightful. So yeah, just pop it in and like, subscribe. I'm still trying to figure out how to do podcasts, but I think I need to do a video or something on YouTube, and I'm getting there. So yeah, thanks for joining. Like, subscribe, and stay diligent, stay profitable. Thanks. Cheers.